Hi guys, today's story is the birth of negative numbers. It involves Takis, sodas, and a fake friend who tried to rip you off. When you're done with the story, click on the links to practice dealing with some serious negativity. You are a modern day student who needs a side hustle. Lucky for you, you've got a solid soda connection, all the free soda you can carry to school. Before you go big, you set up a small scale trade with a friend. There's your friend. Your friend offers to bring in 2 big bags of Takis each day if you bring in 3 sodas. 2 for him and 1 for you. You figure this is a pretty good deal. Your sodas are free after all, and they are the perfect refreshment after eating Takis. You agreed to the deal. On day 1, you bring in your 3 sodas, your friend brings in the Takis. You each get a bag, your friend has 2 sodas, you have 1, everyone's content. Days 2 through 5 are exactly the same. But one day you forget to bring in 3 sodas. You've only got 2 sodas. Your friend still brought in their 2 bags of Takis, and he agrees you can owe him 1 soda. You eat the Takis, you each drink 1 soda, and the following day you make it up to your friend. You bring in 3 sodas for him. 2 for today and 1 from yesterday. But soon enough, your friend forgets to bring in 2 bags of Takis. You give him the sodas, because obviously you're not going to carry those around all day. They're heavy. And you agree that your friend can owe you 1 bag of Takis. You see where this is going? After a while, it starts happening regularly, and you need to write down who owes whom what. Some days it's soda, some days it's Takis. But you run into a problem. You're kind of lazy, and you want to differentiate between having an extra bag of Takis, that might look like this, and being owed a bag of Takis. Of course, you can draw the bag to represent having one, but how would you draw the bag to represent being owed one? Maybe you would use, I don't know, dashes to draw the bag. And if you're gonna use dashes, why not just put 1 dash, in front of the number of bags of Takis you're owed? A negative sign. Now, obviously, Takis and soda aren't what caused our ancient forepeople to come up with negative numbers, but it was most likely due to a money situation. In 200 BCE, we're talking way before the Common Era, the Chinese had a red and black rod system to work out taxes and money in accounts. Red was negative, and it would cancel out a black rod. If you spent money buying supplies, you'd record it in red. When people bought the awesome thing you made from those supplies, you'd record it in black. If you were a good business person, all the red would get canceled out, like this, and you'd end up with some extra black rods. That means you made money. Obviously, colors wouldn't always work, because eventually there had to be a colorblind banker, right? So enter negative numbers. Negative numbers were probably introduced to you through a system like the red and black rods, but they were called 0 pairs. So 0 pairs are kind of like our Takis and soda exchange. If you bring all of the sodas you're supposed to bring, and they bring all the Takis they're supposed to bring, then they cancel each other out. No one owes anyone anything. It's even, or totally balanced. But if you owe your friend a soda, then it's not even. There's a missing soda, or 1 extra rod. But instead of writing it in red, we use a negative sign, a dash, to indicate that it's owed. So if we look at the number 2 as having 2 extra sodas, we could also write it as 2 pluses, because it's an extra, it's a surplus. Now, if I went and added 2 subtraction signs here, they cancel each other out, and now I'm left with 0. In fact, I'm left with 2 0 pairs. And if we can represent our positive numbers with just plus signs, why not represent our negative numbers with just negative signs? So for instance, here's the number 3, negative 3, represented as 3 subtractions, or 3 negatives. So unless I add 3 addition signs, there are only negatives here, negative 3. That is a lot of missing Takis. So what gets really weird is when you start considering how you could take away or subtract negatives that aren't even there. And that's when you need to get very creative in writing zero. And that's exactly what our next video will deal with, adding and subtracting negatives. Or as I like to call it, why every student asks me, is that a negative sign or a subtraction sign? In the meantime, take out some negativity by dealing with negative integers in the links below. If you're still not sure that negative numbers really exist or why they exist, try the Proving It to Yourself, Negative Numbers in the Real World worksheet. I would love to see your creative examples. If you're missing the NFL already, or you just want to see how football of all things can prove negatives are real, check out Integer Football. You can share screenshots, pics, and Google Docs with me at this email address, drshawmba@gmail.com. I promise a positive response. Till next time, stay healthy and stay mathy.